So this guy appears in Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory, right? And you would think that it could be the Master of Masters, but that point is heavily contended. Isn't it great that on the heels of Kingdom Hearts 3 and Kingdom Hearts Rewind, we don't have to wait that long to get the next step, the next chapter, the next page in this journey? While people would count Kingdom Hearts 3 Rewind as the first step in Phase 2 of Kingdom Hearts, with good reason, when it comes to an original game moving forward with the story and not backwards, so we're not counting Union Cross Dark Road either, Melody of Memory is going to be the first point of narrative when it comes to this new arc of Kingdom Hearts after Sora's disappearance. But a huge focal point when it comes to this new unknown journey is a man of mystery who may appear in Melody of Memory that is known as the Master of Masters. Is this really him? And if so, we might get a huge reveal tied to it. What's up guys, it's HMK once again from the 5th dimension, here with another Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory video. There are many possibilities entering this world of music, so for the safety of hype, I'm gonna ask you to strap on in, and be sure to like and subscribe for more Kingdom Hearts content every week. With that being said, let's dive directly into the darkness. So at first glance, Melody of Memory may seem like a simple battle action rhythm game that focuses heavily and simply on the music of Kingdom Hearts. However, this is not the case, as it's very apparent that Kairi's backstory is going to be heavily focused within the story of Melody of Memory, pushing forward to the future on how she and her allies are going to take the next step in locating Sora. But within the trailer that showcases this, Kairi comes into contact with someone wearing the black coat. Furthermore, this encounter happens within the final world. So when it comes to the identity of this character, a lot of people already put their finger down saying that this is the Master of Masters. You would think it's cut and dry at this point, but thanks to the statements that Kairi made to this individual, it has some believing that this could be an apparition or a form of a deceased Xehanort. As thanks to the tagline of this trailer and the fact that we do see Apprentice Xehanort in full Kingdom Shader glory, not only did he have a hand in Kairi's mysterious backstory, but he might be a huge focal point, as this tells the tale of his final plan set in motion. So in that regard, it seems that Kairi thinks that this black coat could be Apprentice Xehanort, a form of Xehanort, and some Seeker of Darkness, any one of the whole shebang. And while it may be a situation where Kairi as a character perceives this as Xehanort, but we on the outside looking in know that this is the Master of Masters, the idea that this could be Xehanort is not without reason, because after all, we are in the final world, which, if you don't know for whatever reason, is a world of purgatory where deceased hearts go before meeting their final end. So this could be a ghostly, ghastly apparition of a deceased Xehanort that Kairi is going to have to come to terms with. However, this individual has his hands behind his back, which as we've seen has been a staple for the character known as the Master of Masters. Yes, Xehanort did this as well, but as old man Xehanort, when he was really elderly and his back was hunched, leaning forward, sticking his head up, all that good jazz. And the Master of Masters does this a lot, and he seems to be spring and young, or young enough, and he does this very upright. But the hilarious flip side about this is that in the same trailer, we see Apprentice Xehanort do the whole hands behind his back thing too, so man. But honestly, I believe this to be the Master of Masters, because any other reveal when this guy takes off his hood would fall short if it happens to be Xehanort again. The way the story of Kingdom Hearts is set up currently, it would make the most sense for the Master of Masters to appear before Kairi. And if this game, Melody of Memory, is going to have the huge face reveal of this mysterious character, then people are going to flip out. Of course, there's the idea that it could be Lucio, but what would that mean for an encounter with Kairi in the final world? Of course, he can act as a messenger or a herald of doom in order to explain what's going on with the Master of Masters, the foretells, to Kairi, but at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3, Lucio did say that his final task was done and he's already got his hands full of telling the story to the foretellers. An idea that I have in my head as the reason why the Master of Masters will be here in the final world appearing before Kairi is that, one, of course, this is the Master of Masters we're talking about. I feel like he will be able to have the power to jump between worlds and dimensions and purgatory and all of that good jazz. We've seen him hop from the time of Union Cross to the time of Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind and now to the final world. And of course, somewhere else, which we'll talk about in a bit in the video. The reason why the Master of Masters could appear before Kairi is to let her know that in her attempt to locate, rescue, and restore Sora, she would be messing with the designs that he carefully wrote in the Book of Prophecies, if this is truly what came to pass. And quite possibly, he could tell her that he can't let her do that, Star Fox, as she will be messing with his fate. But then again, that would be a cool duality because she is the one accusing this individual of messing with her fate. And then that boils down to the philosophy of fate and if it's truly set in stone, which Kingdom Hearts has been messing around with as of late. But with all that being said, a final face reveal of this character in Melody of Memory would be insane. But then again, it could be an apparition that stays silent in which they take off their hood and we could see something pretty wild. Maybe an older Sora since he hangs out in the final world. Maybe Yozora since he hangs out in the final world. Or maybe this could be someone completely new. But I want to hold my money to the idea that this is the Master of Masters. And if it truly is the Master of Masters, then he can act as a gateway, a link to get Kairi and the events of Melody of Memory over to Shibuya and Verum Rex. Because the Master of Masters does appear in the Yozora secret movie at the end of Kingdom Hearts 3. And of course, the final fate of Sora, of him finding his way in the final world, is directly tied to that of Yozora, Shibuya, and Verum Rex, thanks to what we see in the secret movie. So those paths are going to and have to cross. So that can actually lead Kairi coming into contact with Yozora. And since this is a rhythm action battle game, Yozora and Yozora's theme could be Kairi's final boss fight in this game, in which the boss fight against Yozora in Shibuya could be rendered in the Kingdom shader. Let me elaborate. It seems that the boss fights in Kingdom Hearts Melody of Memory are pre-rendered or at least minimally manipulated backdrops, as you can see with Sora's fight against Xemnas. So if the boss fights are truly backdrops, a fight with Yozora in the Kingdom shader will be able to run on the Nintendo Switch no problem, as these cutscenes are already in Kingdom shader, and for them to run on the Nintendo Switch you would have to think that they are pre-rendered. And that way it could lead to an explosive endgame that could set up the games going forward with that of Sora, Yozora, Raikou, and yes, Kairi. And as a little cherry on top, it could help bridge the unknown connection between that of Yozora and the Master of Masters. But when it comes to the Master of Masters, yes, I do believe that this individual is him in Melody of Memory coming forward to Kairi. But I want to know what you guys think. Who do you think this mysterious individual is that Kairi's about to try and split in two with her Keyblade? Leave your thoughts, comments, and theories in the comment section below. Be sure to like the video and subscribe and share it with your pals because I post Kingdom Hearts content like this every week. Big thanks to my Patreon supporters for help making this video happen. If you want to find out how you can support HMK for just $1 a month, please check out my Patreon info in the description box below. Alright guys, until the next message from the 5th dimension, this has been HMK, and I'll check you guys later.
So you haven't subscribed to HMK yet? Don't piss Xemnas off.